Another 0-3 versus 0-3 battle here. Minnesota Vikings at the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young should be back here. Vikings by 4. I'm sorry that I keep responding to. It's because I've been yanked back into the Twitter sphere, and I'm back doing what you do, responding to one-offs like a jerk, like an absolute jerk,
like an idiot.
Here I am, an idiot, right. And now we've got a 6-hour show, and look, we're here.
We didn't name names. We simply pointed out that there's a lot of douchebags that cover the Steelers. You know?
And I'm sure there's nice people.
There's nice people as well. I was on a Steelers podcast that's very nice human beings. You're on with Pony on a regular basis. There's some good people. There's just an abnormally large number of tools. Anyway,
where the heck are we?
Carolina, Minnesota.
Minnesota favored by 4 here at the Panthers.
So Bryce Young is back. The offense got better when Bryce Young wasn't in the lineup. So,
which we kind of expected.
Yes, against a pretty bad-looking defense for Seattle. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is Brian Flores and the Minnesota Vikings are blitzing the ever-loving crap out of every quarterback they come up against, and now you're facing Bryce Young. So do we need to articulate what the game plan is going to be?
So here's some numbers to chew on here, Sam.
To chew on. To digest.
The Vikings have blitzed by far more than anyone else in the league.
Yes.
We saw it last week. They're like 80-something% of the time. They're blitzing like crazy. They've got the number 26 EPA per play against when blitzing, right? So they're actively – I'm not saying it would be better if they didn't blitz. I'm just saying they're actively choosing this strategy.
They're blitzing and it isn't working.
Yeah, that is unsuccessful. I mentioned on yesterday's show with JT, the film last week against the Chargers was absolutely wild because the Chargers would come out in a spread look on first down. The Vikings would jump into their third down blitz package, basically, and it looked like every play was third down of the entire game. If this happens again, Carolina is going to be a little bit more controlled, right? They're not going to be like spread like the Chargers. But this is going to test Bryce Young. Blitz recognition, getting rid of the ball quickly, having an outlet. I don't know if the Panthers have those answers. Now, Adam Thielen is a good blitz beater type of answer. I don't know if they have anyone else besides him. The other stat here is Minnesota, with all that blitzing, has the worst pass rush grade in the NFL. Now, if you create an unblocked rusher, you might not get a great grade or anything, but usually when you send 6 guys a lot, you'll have one-on-ones for your defensive linemen. They'll win a little bit more, and they'll help their pass rush grade. So Minnesota is blitzing a lot, not winning one-on-ones, and not getting home enough to affect the pass. That's a bad combination. All that said, the Panthers' offensive line has been horrendous.
Yeah.
Battling injuries, and this could be the week where Minnesota actually has some success, whether they decide to blitz or not.
So that's the thing. It's the extremely resistible force against the extremely movable object, right?
A pillow fight.
Yeah.
It's a pillow fight up front.
The Brian Flores effectively came out and said, look, we were going up against a really good quarterback, and we want to try and speed up his process, so we blitzed him all of the time. And they were, the Chargers have a pretty good offensive line, so you're probably not going to get pressure without doing that. It's crazy, but it might not have been the worst call. Like, it might be the best they could do, right? We're going to get gashed anyway. You might as well go down swinging, is effectively the thought process. But against Carolina, they're on pace to give up more pressures in a season as an offensive line than any team we've ever seen in 15, 16, however many years we've been doing this, right? Like some 300-plus pressures over a year. So this might be one of the only teams in the NFL where the Vikings can look at this and say, we might actually get pressure with 4, We might not need to blitz. Bryce Young has actually not been blitzed a lot at all this year. 17% of his dropbacks. Crazy small sample size because only 2 games for him. And he's done reasonably well against that blitz. I wonder if this is actually the game where the answer is not blitzing. The answer is actually sit back, rush 4, flood the zones with defenders, and make Bryce Young find something that he hasn't been able to find so far in the NFL. I actually think it looks like it might be an error based off very limited bits of information to do what you've done the last 3 weeks and go nuts.
Look, Brian Flores loves to blitz regardless, but I wonder how much Marcus Davenport has, he played 3 snaps? He's barely played.
Yeah.
Davenport hasn't been there. How much of that is not having your guy opposite Danielle Hunter this whole season? Mm-hmm. Davenport's going to be questionable again. Wasn't seen at practice yesterday. So, yeah, this will be I'm interested in that side. I'm interested in what the Vikings do defensively every single week because it is at this level of extreme. and it's hashtag fun to watch. And if they do blitz like crazy, how does Bryce Young handle that? And do they have answers in Carolina? Other side of the ball, like we mentioned, Minnesota's lost their 3 one-score games here. They were 11-0 last year. Minnesota's passing attack has been good. Cousins still playing pretty well. Justin Jefferson still uncoverable. They're finding those other options. I think things will turn around for Minnesota as long as their defense isn't atrocious. And
Which it is at the moment.
It is, but I think they'll have far more success against the Panthers this week. So
I'll
take the Vikings are favored by 4 for a reason, but I'll take them to cover even on the road here.
It would be funny if they went from 11 straight one-score victories to 11 straight one-score defeats.
It just ends up at 500?
Right.
At exactly 500.
We regress to the mean by very unusual methodology.
That'd be pretty extreme. There'd be a win for the nerds. A win for the nerds. Told you so.
All right. Carolina, 4-point underdogs at home against a team that's 0-3. Ugh.
Did you take Minnesota last week? I think you're always wrong about Minnesota.
I think that's probably true.
Do the right thing.
I don't even know what the right thing is in this game.
Whoever's going to cover.
I think there's a game plan for the Vikings to stop Carolina's offense. I'm just not convinced they'll employ it.
They'll keep blitzing and Bryson will carve
them up.
Yeah.
Like, damn it. Okay, if that's my logic, then I have to go Carolina.
That's the wrong thing. Minnesota's going to cover the 4 in this one.